Just give us 1 second. You're gonna be right with you. How you doing, Mammy?
I'm good.
What's up? Or what's going on?
Nothing.
Let's hold it professional. What's going on?
Not much. I went to the nail salon this morning. That's what I was doing.
Oh wow. I mean, we've been having a bad weather all day.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
really
rainy day. Yeah, it's a rainy day over here. So I've been trying. Since you text me at 1 o'clock,
hmm
telling me where you are, I've been trying to get in. So we were having a technical difficulties.
Oh, it's okay.
But it all looks good right now. It looks like we can go ahead and do what we gotta do.
Yeah. It's raining
Yeah.
here too. It's raining here too.
It's raining over there too.
Yeah, it's raining. It's really windy, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's the time of the year.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's good.
July. It's July.
Yeah.
My birthday's in 12 days.
12 more days.
12 more days.
Okay, awesome. We can wait. Good afternoon, all the viewers. Sorry for coming so late because of weather condition. We were having some difficulties, getting in, some technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Maybe been ready since 1 a.m. So 1 p.m. rather, calling me, Auntie Mom, where are you? I said, well, I'm trying. It's unfortunate, but I'm so sorry. My apologies. We have Mommy here today. We're just gonna go straight into the point since we're already late. We don't have time for too many things at this point in time. So how you doing today?
I'm good. Okay.
Wonderful. Good to have you again.
Thanks for having me. I love doing this. So I have a notepad here, you guys. So when I look to the right, just know it's because I'm looking at my notepad and some of the details I wrote down for you guys to really explain
Awesome.
the topic today. So today we're gonna talk about experience and education. So I wouldn't say they go hand in hand. Some people have, they went to school. Some people have experience, or some people have both, right? Or you come later on down the line in your career where you also have an education and you also have experience, right? But it alternates and it varies. And my aunt and I were having this discussion earlier today because we talk about these topics again before we bring them to you because we like to flush them out and to make sure we're really getting the message across to you guys and what we're trying to say. So experience, right? So we'll start off with what experience is. Experience is some type of past connection or past activity that you've done that's in relation to something that you would like to do in a field that you're interested in. Okay. And so I'll start with myself, right? Great example, right? So
Right.
when I was younger, right, I wanted to work with kids, right? So I got started after, but I didn't have no experience, right? Because I'm a young girl. I was like 16 years old. I didn't have too much experience working with kids, but I got experience because in the summertime there was this program, and you guys can probably jot this down. I wrote this down because I feel like this is something, it's a really great program. It's in New York City. It's in New York State. Even in the state of Ohio. I found out about it a few weeks ago. It's called Summer Youth, right? And so Summer Youth helps youth find jobs, and it goes up until like I believe 20. When I was doing it, I don't know if that's changed, but you can just Google that, call a few places, and it's only during the summertime, right? However, this is what you do during
Right.
summer: the city, the state, they pay you, right? You get paid by the city or the state, right? However, you're the person that you're working for. If you build a good rapport, and like we were talking about last week, right? Because we want all these topics to bounce off of each other,
Right.
networking and building relationships. You build a great relationship with that person could hire you, right? So when I
And you
first,
get that through networking, like
yep,
we talked about last week.
exactly, right?
Exactly.
That
Yep.
person can hire you when the summer is over because like I said, it's just summer youth, right? So it employs youth for the summer months up after you stop going to school up until you're done. And then, like I said, build relationships, make connections, and then they will hire you. So back to what I was saying, when I was doing summer youth, right, I was working with kids, and had a really, really great relationship with the woman that was actually like in charge of running the summer youth program in the Bronx, right? And our relationship was so great to the point where she didn't even come, she wouldn't have to come by to where I was working to pick up the documents. I would grab everyone's documents and I would always bring them over to her every single Friday, right? So we built this really great rapport. And then the next year I did summer youth as well. And I decided, you know what? I want to work in retail and I need to get a job in retail. And I was in high school.
Right. So, Mami, sorry to cut you off, but I just want to elaborate a little bit or touch on the little thing that you said over there. It might seem like, a little thing, but it's a big thing. You were talking about building a relationship with the person that owns the place. So you see how important, or the person who runs the place, the daycare or the center. So you see how important it is to build up a relationship with people because you never know if those are the people that you're going to need tomorrow. So in any way you walk, or be talking to the youths, in any place that you walk, it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in America, whether you're in Gambia, whether you're in Senegal, wherever you are in the part of the world, it doesn't matter. Always establish a relationship between the people that you walk with because you never know when you're going to need them. So that's a very key point there, establish relationships, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll let you go ahead, and then continue with your story.
Yeah, and it really, really does help because, like I said, when I wanted these jobs, when I wanted these jobs, I couldn't get them because I had no experience, right? So summer youth is a great place to start. So you can look up summer youth, and if you're too old for that, don't worry. I have other
Options.
options for you as well. So
Right.
this is for much younger people. So summer youth, I believe it's like 15, 16, that group of people, right? And I really do feel like it helps like building character when you're that young and you're making money and you're learning how to pay bills and you're learning how to save. So I would definitely say get into that. If you can't do it this summer, definitely next summer. And hey, like it's not too late. In some states right now, summer youth has already started. However, if you call and reach out, like my aunt and I was saying, building relationships, we talked about it last week, right? Going up to people and just talking to them because people don't do that much now. These are, but these topics are bouncing off of each other, right? So, you can do that if you want to. But so back to what I was saying. So I got a job in retail when I was doing summer youth, and I did a really, really great job during the summer. They hired me, and I was working for them throughout my high school years. And then when I went to college, I would come home during break, and I was working for them as well, right? So.
Right.
It was like for like 3 years I was working at this place. I went to college, I came back, they would let me work during the holidays and things like that. So I never had any retail experience, but because of summer youth, I got retail experience and it was great, right? So perfect, right? Which great. So then I went to college, right? Which is different, right? You go to college and I realized, okay, I want to be a journalist. That's what I want to do, right?
Right.
And I went to college and when the 4 years were over, I was trying to get a job to be on TV and everyone was like, no, you have no experience. You have no experience. You have no experience, right?
Right.
This is not summer youth, right? So this is different, right? However, when you're in college, right, you have to find things to do that give you that experience, right? And we're going to also talk about the part where, you're not in college. That's a different topic, right?
Right.
We're going to get to that, right? But when you're in college, right, you need to find things to do that help you, right? And my aunt and I were talking about this earlier. Sometimes those things are free labor. And sometimes you got to do it because you need experience, right?
Right.
So when my first 4 years were over with college and I couldn't right away be on TV, in order to get my foot in the door, I took a job as a news producer, right? While I was producing on the weekends, on my own time, whenever I decided on, not getting paid for it, I said, you know what? I have to go into work today. And that's how I looked at it. And every single weekend I went in there, I learned what it was like to be in front of the camera. I learned how to write for, how to write your packages. That's what we call them in news. So that's a little bit different. But we'll get into that a different time. But
right.
So this was on my own time, right? And on the weekends, when you're young, and I think I speak for all of us, we have weekends with our family. We want to go out. We want to party. However, sometimes you have to make sacrifices, right? And for me to get that experience to be on TV, I had to do it at my own time and do it while I wasn't getting paid. But it prepared me for now, right? There were times, and this is also while I was like, a full-time student earning my master's degree also, right? But I had
Mm-hmm.
to find time for it, right? And even though I
Mm-hmm.
was getting paid for it, this is the experience I needed for me to be on TV. And so you have to do that sometimes. Sometimes necessarily you're not going to get paid for that experience. And as young people, sometimes we don't want to hear that. And we feel like, okay, no, this is free labor. No, it's going to help you in the long run. And
Mm-hmm.
don't let it go over your head. It's not just young people that do it. There's older people that have, they have a job, they're doing that job, but they're also doing something else on the side because they want experience so they can get the actual job that they want. And when I was in high school, when I was in middle school, I heard this phrase a lot, and it's, you do what you want to do. You do what you have to do now to do what you want to do later.
And that, Mimi, that takes us back to the beginning of everything. Because in whatever you do in life, the first of all that I always say is you have to identify who you're going to be. Because once you know who you're going to be, then you will put more efforts to that to be who you want to be tomorrow or who you are tomorrow. Because once you figure out, who you are going to be, then you're going to, what to do is going to come next. You're going to be like, okay, what do I do to be who I want to be? You know what I mean? Because identify that, and then you got to walk into the, put some efforts into that to be where you want to be at. And then what happened after that when you do that? So all these things are strategies you have to follow. They go step by step, because the first of all, what one can do for yourself is identify yourself, identify your field of interest, identify what you want to be. Identify the things that you like the most, the things that you like to do, because this is what happened. It's two different things. It's like depression. I take it as this: depression and then passion. Depression being doing what you are doing, but not what you like to do. You are in that situation. The passion being doing what you love to do, doing what you like. So they're two different things. We have to balance and weigh them in order, to get your right route to go into. So I guess I will give you back the platform. Go ahead, Miss
Yeah,
Rose.
yeah. And like my aunt said, I guess I'm gonna piggyback off of the point that
Right.
the point that she made about passion, right? So
Mhm.
sometimes necessarily you have to figure out what is it that you want to do, right? And
Mhm.
the route and avenues you're going to take to get there. But bottom line, whatever it
Mhm.
is, even after you go to college, people want you to have experience. Even if you don't go to
Mhm.
college, sometimes like even when you're looking at job applications now, right? Really
Mhm.
look at the job applications, and sometimes the job description says like a degree or equivalent experience in this field, right?
Mhm.
And nowadays, with so much technology and everything going around, there's some people who, they didn't have to go to college, right? They just
Exactly.
had experience, right? Which leads us to the next point that I want to talk about, because we went through the experience, and then we also talked about having experience, someone who's in college, right? So let's talk about people who, decide, college is not for me, but I need to get some experience, right? So great, I'm gonna give you some examples. So let's say you want to be in the music industry. That's what you want to do, right? But you
Mhm.
don't have any experience, right? And you're trying to make connections, right? So last week we talked about networking. That is a big part of, any job, right? Networking. So there's that one key factor. But to gain the experience, let's say you have decided on your free time, you're gonna reach
Mhm.
out to, let's say us, right? My aunt, right? Who, she does this program, and you want to help her, and you want to make a beat,
Oh, thank you.
or you want to make like a introduction video for her. That
Mhm.
gives you publicity. That is experience, right? So, and some of these artists too that start off, even photographers, right? Some people didn't go for photography. It's something that they picked up, right? But they got bored because they go around taking pictures of people, right? And when
Mhm.
they start off at a discounted rate, right? Because they know they're just learning, right? They're still
Mhm.
getting paid, they're still bringing in some money, but it's at a discounted rate. If you're doing that for like 2 years, by the time you're done, someone will have hired you, because you know why? You
Mhm.
have experience, and you went and found a way to get that experience. And
And I think, Mammy, I am a great example with that. You could set me as an example. I did not go to school for any presentation like you did, right? I did not learn how to sit, how to get used to the camera and all of that. I just learned by hands on. That's like my own experience. I don't have a degree in communication. I don't have a degree in producing. I don't have a degree, in like hosting these programs and stuff like that. Nothing like speech or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it comes like practicing. I have an interest in it, and this is why what I call it volunteers. I think that's where we're trying to get to.
Yeah.
We practice some volunteering, methods. What do we do is, we know this place, they're interested in this thing. Like this is what they do, this is what they work on. And then since you as a person, you have identified your field of interest, you're interested in that particular field. It doesn't matter whether you have the education of, if you have education for something else, your field of studies or whatever it is. But then, like you said, some people are doing this thing on the side. I have interest, in broadcasting. I have interest, in presenting and stuff like that. So I look for a presenting company, like especially right now in Queen TV. We got younger girls, adults and all of that who comes in. Oh, I have interest in this. I really want to do this. It doesn't mean as soon as they come, we start paying them. We don't. They
Yeah.
come and then they do, voluntary service. We call it volunteer because you know why they're doing it? They're trying to get experience of what they're interested in. So volunteer is something that's really recommended for those of you, for those of us, because I have been in that situation before too. Studying, finishing your classes or your degree or whatever it is. Now you're ready for the job. You go out there, they said, oh no, we want somebody with experience. Somebody have to start you from somewhere. Everybody starts from somewhere. You have to learn from somewhere. And at times, the best thing you could do is, give them a voluntary service. They wouldn't say no to it. Of course, the job is being done. That reminds me of my first year of, even though I did my associate degree, I did phlebotomist. I was a phlebotomist. I did my phlebotomist studies, and then I was looking for a job anywhere I go. So I was trying to get into the hospital system so bad, because I always wanted to be a doctor. Okay, that was my dream. But look at me here now. I'm sitting here presenting. I'm a hair braider. I'm a businesswoman. I'm
Entrepreneur.
all over. Huh?
You're an entrepreneur.
I'm telling you, entrepreneur. That's what
Working
I'm.
woman. Working woman. You
Exactly.
do it
That's what I
all.
am. CEO. You know what I mean? In multiple areas. Okay.
That's what we like to
That's just a joke. Don't take it personal. Okay. So going out there looking for a job, I couldn't get the job. Wherever I go, oh, we need somebody with experience. We need somebody with experience. So I went around. I was so discouraged. You know what I ended up doing? I
hear.
just look up online. I did networking, what we did last week. I networked, opened a LinkedIn account, and that's how I opened my LinkedIn account, by the way. We went on LinkedIn account, and I see places, ZipRecruiter and all of that. So I called in, I just walk into the place. I did not call. I went into the place straight, and the place was called Shield Medical Lab. It's in Brooklyn, in New York. I used to commute, from New York and from New Jersey, and I go to New York. I used to get up so early, very early in the morning, just to make sure I catch that time, at my job. I went in there. Oh, I'm trying to volunteer. Say volunteer, and I've tried all the hospitals around here. I couldn't get anything. It's a little bit frustrating. Let me tell you, if you don't live it, you wouldn't know it. But the reason why we're doing this is because we have lived it. We have experienced it. And that's why we're bringing out here to educate, to sensitize the younger generation who are going to be after us, who are going to be after money, and they're going to go through the same thing. Do not give up because it's not the end of the life. It's not the end of your journey. That's just the beginning. So when I went in there, I said, "Oh, I want to volunteer." Of course, they take me 1, 2, 3. I was volunteering in that laboratory for 4 months. 4 months. And during that, during the volunteering section, the position was open for hiring for a phlebotomist with experience. Now tell me what goes. I'm next because I'm the one in the house. Before they go out, they do in-house hiring first. So I was there volunteering, and they were checking on different things that I do. My attitude towards my job, my responsibility, my determination, my focus, how much I love doing what I do. And all these are things that they're going to look into, which is generally your attitude, which you need to work on very well in order to get hired by some of these companies. Because this is a US company. Let me tell you, at times it's hard. You go to places, you want to find a job, but maybe you don't belong there or you can't fit there, they wouldn't hire you. But then, depending on how much, focus, depending on how much determination you have in you, that's an opportunity for you. And that's how I get into that job. And that's how I get into the hospital system. So it doesn't bother me. So when I went back and did my bachelor's, the doors were already open because I had stepped my feet in. At times, it's just a question of getting your one foot in, and once you get the one first foot in, the second one is gonna follow. So volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. It's a possibility of you getting hired. Connect with people, like we said last week. Connect with people. Get in touch with people because at times somebody might be sitting over there just waiting for somebody to come to them and say, "Hey, I need help in this." Don't feel too good. Don't be scared. Always go in front of people and tell them, "This is what I'm looking for." You need to be outspoken. You need to be brave. You go and say, "Okay, listen, I need help. This is what I'm looking for." Maybe that person was just sitting there waiting for somebody to come ask for help. They might be the one that to help you, right?
Yeah.
So I just had to share a little bit of my experience there too, because we're talking about a very sensitive, topic, which I love talking about. I love talking about, the journey. But one day we're gonna sit here and then we're gonna do our whole journey history. I mean, what we've been through, the story and all of that. We can't wait for that one day. Mami, I will give you back your platform. Let me
And
not steal your platform. I'm
no,
out.
it's okay. I want to piggyback off of another point that my aunt made when she talked about how she just walked in there and told them she wanted to volunteer. I can imagine how shocked they were because, again, like we talked about last week, right? Being bold, going over and talking to people. It's not really every day that people actually walk into people's offices and say, "Oh, hey, like I want a job," or let alone, "Hey, I'm here to volunteer my services." Like that's a completely different ballgame, right? For a lot of employers, that also does say, like, okay, well, this person is serious and they're willing to do what it takes, even if I can't pay them at this very second, right? We're not saying free labor. That's not what we're telling everyone, right? That's not what we're saying. We're just saying sometimes, to gain experience, you have to do it on your own time. And that was on her own time, right?
Mhm.
And it was a far commute, but she still went every single day because that's what she wanted to do.
Right.
That's what she had to do to get the experience, right? And that, which goes into our next point, and my aunt touched about this a little bit, which was attitude, right? So, I know I speak for all of us
Right.
when I say, we can be very impulsive, young people. We can be very impulsive. We can get
Right.
very agitated, especially because, it's different, right? Like,
Right.
it's like, okay, I'm not getting paid to do this, but this is what I have to do, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that can take a toll because, like, I'm going to be completely honest, like those weekends I was there, like there were times where I was just tired and exhausted because like I was already working Monday through Friday and then having to get up at, having to get up at like 6 a.m. Saturday because I used to go and work with our like morning photographer. Like it was exhausting, I can own that. However, like attitude is a big part of it. Like companies really do look at your attitude and like look at your determination. So like
Right.
when I got this job, I actually wrote that down that like, I came in on the weekends, I did all this other stuff. And they were like, wow, like that's really good. Like it was a big selling point for me.
No, it's impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we said, because like it's your person and it teaches you discipline. That's what it says. It says that you're disciplined. And
Right.
it's that if you put your mind to something, you will do it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really great. So that encompasses that topic that we were talking about. When it comes to experience for, that's for people who didn't go to college, right?
Maybe before you go to the people that goes to college, I would like you to touch on, the people too who have been to college, the people who have been to school, especially when you go to Gambia, I would say, our homeland. We have youths that have finished their high school. We have youths that have been to colleges. We have youths that have been to universities and they have finished their university level education and they're still hanging around. They don't get a job. They have nothing to do. It's a different thing when you come to America when there's always something to do. But for the people that are there, sitting there, finishing their education, now they don't have a job. What can they do? What are the solutions? What are the things that we're going to look into? What are the, call up, to our government, to put hands in it and look up to them and see what they can provide for them so they can get themselves busy rather than, loitering around on the street. drinking a chai on this because you know what? They have finished their schooling and now they don't have a job. They don't have anything to do. And that topic over there, that's huge because when we talk about it, we're gonna touch a lot of areas with it. But we're just gonna minimize it because it's a 1 hour program. And I know already we have stolen 15 minutes of the time because of the weather. We came on late. So we're not gonna waste so much time on it. We're gonna keep that on the side and then we're gonna come on a special program while we talk about the youth over there in the Gambia because we have a youth empowerment agent over there too, a young girl too who's ready to come on board, Fatima. I think I told you I will give you her number. So yeah, I could talk about this. Maybe, who knows, you and her can hold the platform. And then, you can compare and contrast, and show them how it is. Because it's very important we put those people too into work. We need to make them busy. They cannot be just doing it because they already did the job. They already did what they were supposed to do. So what are they doing next? They're just waiting and saying, we're looking for a job. So we need to create more jobs for them, right?
Yeah. And
we will call on our government, to look into that and see what they can do for those, youths. So we can keep them busy, keep them off the street.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this, like, employment is a very big part of an economy, right? To keep the economy going and to continue fueling it, right? That is why I can give you a basic, you need people to work. You need people to work in order for the economy to thrive,
to
right?
Build up. Mm-hmm.
And in order for there to be innovation and new ideas, right?
Exactly.
And so to the young people that have graduated, right? And you're still trying to find a job, think about what you got a degree in. Think about that, right? And then, right, think about any possible way you can get your foot in the door, right? My aunt and I, we talked about networking last week, and today we've talked about experience, right? Even if you have to do it on your own time. So I don't know if you're on the block, I'm gonna say on the block or in the street smoking your attire, but
we drink attire.
I'm sorry, drinking your attire.
Yeah, we're drinking. Yes.
I'm sorry, y'all.
My mommy will kill me.
I'm sorry, you guys.
Go ahead, baby.
If you're outside drinking your attire, this is what I'm going to say. When I did a job and I graduated college, my job was to find a job. So the times that I would be at work was the time that I was looking for a job. And I filled out thousands of applications, right?
Yep.
Thousands. And I got this call one time from a school that was looking to hire me or something. But it's like, I told myself, I said, mommy, you don't want to be a teacher, right? That's not really what you want to do. And then I called my mom, right? And I said, hey, what should I do? I really want a job. My mom said, no, don't take the job because this is not the job you want. You went to school to be a journalist, right? That's what you went to school for. So I'm going to say this. First, I would say this. Yes, make it your main priority to find a job. I'm not saying that's what you guys are. I'm not saying you guys aren't doing that. Make it your main priority to find a job, right?
Yeah, but some of them.
Yeah,
they need to get up and go find the job. The job don't come, so you go and look for it.
No one's giving you an opportunity. You go
because you have to identify, because you have identified your goal, and that's why you went all the way for it. Because it's one thing to know what you want to be. It's one thing to know, where you want to be. But another thing, to work towards it. Yeah. How much efforts are they putting towards that to be what they want to be?
And definitely
very important.
And I would also say not only that, right? How much effort are you putting into it? But what is your circle like, right? Because aside from my friends, my regular friends that I, school and all that, I have a group of friends that are all
professional friends.
Right? Yeah, my professional friends, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes these are people that you need to reach out because they know what to tell you, right? And in your industry, they know what, the ins and outs, right? And sometimes think about the circle of people, right? What are you doing on your free time and who are you around on your free time? Think about that, right? And do you have a group of people that can help you, that you can talk to? Go back to the school, talk to the professors. That's what I did. One of my professors, she's still my mentor. And, I live in Ohio now. And she's like, oh, when I retire, I'm going to come and see you. Love her to death. She's wrote numerous articles. Are you building relationships with these professors that know people, right? That have been in different places, right? And so for some of you that are, back home without a job, I know it can be hard sometimes. I want to put that out there. I'm not saying in any way that it's easy. And I know it can also be very, very discouraging, because I know what it was like too when I was finding a job. Like, I had a degree and it was hard for me to find a job too, right? So, it's America, right? But it's hard too, right? And I understand how you guys are feeling, right? But one, don't get discouraged, right? That's the biggest one. Do not get discouraged, right? So many people are going to tell you no, but it takes one person to believe in you and give and tell you, yes, I'm going to hire you, right? And sometimes it might not be the job right away, which is what my aunt and I have been saying this whole time, right? Sometimes it might be within the company that you're trying to work at, but it's a different job. But there's a way to work your way up, or there's a way to get experience, go somewhere else and do what you really want to do. So there's that, right? Don't get discouraged. Number two, like I said, make your job right now, even though you're unemployed, finding a job. That's your job. So that's all you do. You
That's
get
the
up,
occupation. Exactly.
you get up early in the morning, you shower, you pray, you sit in your house, and you literally, the computer, the laptop, whatever you have. Whatever you have, if you have to go to the library, then that's what you have to do, right? It's a job, right? Any means necessary. Any means necessary, right? Let's say today you've decided that you're gonna go and band you, and you're gonna study and you're gonna talk to people and you're gonna give out your resume. Hey, who you never know who you're going to give it to, right?
Exactly. That's like you're defining yourself. You say
Yeah.
defining yourself, building up your own self character,
Yeah.
focusing on what you want to be. I mean, I remember I used to tell this to my daughter, when you want a job, you get up in the morning, the job will never come to you. What you're going to do is make it a point of duty. Like you said, that's going to be your occupation, finding a job. Occupation, you put finding a job. I know people will laugh about it, thinking it's funny, but it's a kind of job too, because it's like a voluntary job that you're doing for your own self, which is self-beneficially. Okay, now you do that. Let's say you put 10 applications. I'll say to myself, this is what I say. Every day, I'm going to put in 10 applications in. Every day, I'm going to push in 10. Every day, I'm going to push in 10. Believe me, before the end of the month, before 30 days, one of those 10s is going to call you. One of those 10s is going to call you. What it takes is what? Self-devotion. Devote yourself to your dreams. Identify what you want to do. That's the only way out. And then most of our young people in Africa, what they're losing, what they don't have, is the ego. Like they don't have the energy to say, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. They don't have, no, no, no. They got money, no, no, but hey, come in, you like all of them, you like angle. No, that's like their ambition. That's your ambition. This is what you want to do. This is what you dream about. Because at times, we have our children. They're growing up around us. They say, "Oh, when I grow up, like my little one, she'll be like, oh, I want to be a teacher." I say, I don't want to hear that. Those are things that we parents do. You know what we like to hear, African parents, a lawyer or a doctor. That's all we want to hear from our kids. I want
Yeah.
to be a lawyer. Listen, all of us are not going to be lawyers. All of us are not going to be doctors. You can be good in whatever you do. You
Yeah.
can make life better in whatever you do. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter whether you sit in an office. It doesn't matter if you are on the train. It doesn't matter wherever you are. You can always be who you want to be. You can always be what you want to be. Because it's like a ladder.
Yeah.
Anything, nothing will happen all overnight. Let's say all of a sudden you get up one day, everything just work out perfectly right. I will be scared. I'm not going for that. I want to climb that ladder
Yeah.
step by step. And that's how you know. And that's how you will live the reality of the world. Because
Yeah.
the people who are talking, the people who say things, because they have been through it. Experience is the best master. They have learned it. They have been through it. They have been through that ups and downs. And that is why they are great enough. They are brave enough. They're comfortable enough to sit in front of people and tell them, listen, this is what you do. This is how you achieve your goal. This is how you accomplish what you want to be. Success is not all about, education. No. When we say success, everybody think about, oh, yes, he's successful, he's a doctor. No, that's not it. You know what success is? Simply accomplishing what your desire is, accomplishing something that's going to benefit you
Yeah.
for the rest of your life. That's what we call success. So it could be anywhere. And maybe that's going to put you back onto the people that did not go to school for anything, like they did not major in anything. I'm going to put you through with that and let you hold on to your platform again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. And, oh, and I just wanted to touch on one more thing before we
Go
move to
ahead.
that
Go
point.
ahead.
So my aunt and I were talking a lot about experience earlier and doing what you have to do. So like, if you've already graduated college and all of that is over and done with, I know it's frustrating because that was the thing with me when I graduated college and people said, well, you don't have no experience. So for
Mhm.
our people who have graduated, you have to find a way, right, to get that experience, right? So if you
Right.
got it in banking, if you got your degree in accounting or something like that, go to the bank, walk in the bank and ask them, you know,
Mhm.
like this is just some of the stuff that you have to do. Like you just have to be very bold and upfront. And some people admire that and some people don't. And so, okay, so moving to people that didn't go to school, right?
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you this, and I've noticed this myself, right?
Right.
I've noticed that people, you know, who didn't go to school, I've met them in my field. And I met this one guy in my field. He was a video editor. Never went to school for journalism a day in his life, but he was good at what he did. And he wasn't even 21 years old yet. Amazing at it.
Wow.
Amazing editor.
That's amazing.
He would make the street light look gorgeous in the video. Like I just didn't know how he did it. He was just great at what he did, right? And it's
Right.
after he graduated school, he went and just started working for this editing company. And it was just like, you know, it was like that's just what he was doing, right? This is what he liked to do. He was just working for this editing company, and then from there on, he got the experience he needed to work in news, right? So think about it like that, right? So if you're not going to go to school, because there's nothing wrong with that, right? Everyone has different avenues to get to things. You have to decide if I'm not going to go to school, what do I want to do, and how can I get there now? Because when you don't go right into college, you have a little bit of a different experience, right? Because
Right.
your 4 years of high school are over, right?
Yes.
Majority of your life you've been going to school, and you're 18 and you're just about to have the time of your life. Whereas if you're about to go to college, you're 18, you want to have the time of your life. However, you're about to go to college in the fall. So you don't have
Right.
much time.
Mm.
But when you decide against not going to college, you have to figure out fast what you want to do, because then you don't want to get into that spiral of like not having anything to do and you're like having the time of your life to the point where you haven't stopped to decide what you want to do. So
Right.
for the people who like you tell yourself, okay, I don't want to go to school, which is fine, right? But you need to find something to do, right? And sometimes you pick up multiple jobs if that's what you want to do, right? You want to check out different industries.
Mhm.
You know what it's like to work as an engineer. So you start working for like a stocking company or something like that and try to get your foot in the door there. You just have to figure out what you want to do and get experience doing it. However, you have to understand that you may start off working like very, very small because you don't have a college degree, right?
Mhm.
But it puts you in a better place because that time that I'm in college, those 4 years, and those 4 years that you're using, and you're
Right.
not in college, but you're gaining experience. Hey, by the time I get out of college, we'll probably be at the same place.
It's equivalent. Mhm.
Yeah, because this person I was telling you about that used to work at my old job, best editor, he wasn't even 21 yet. I was
Right.
older. He didn't even go to college, right? So keep that in mind. Also, I've seen engineers who they never went to school to be an engineer, but when they were 17 years old, in order for them to get off the street, they got a job working for some company. All they have to do is plug wires in. Now they're an engineer, and they work alongside people who went to college, who they have to teach how to do this stuff because they've been doing it since they were 17 years old, right?
Yeah, and you know why too? At times, I always tell people, school is good. Don't get me wrong. I always tell my kids, I always tell my children, my nieces, my nephews. If you see, like the ones that I get closer to myself is the ones that love school because that's how much I love, kids going to school or children being children. But this is what happens at times. Whatever we do in school, that's just teaching us. They're giving us instruction. This is what you do. This is what you do. In black and white, they're reading it. We're reading it. We're understanding it. We're mastering it.
Yeah.
We don't practice over there. And that is why when they say the practice make perfect, you find somebody who don't want to go to school or they drop out of high school, they don't want to do college. They say they want to do something else. But most of us, parents like me, will say, "Oh no, I don't want you to drop out. Go to college, go to college." Or maybe whatever they were going to do is what's going to benefit them in the long run. Because it's going to be equivalent to the person doing the 4 year in college. By the time you come out, if this person is busy learning how to build IT and stuff like that, you come together, it's the same. There is
Yeah.
no difference. And in the end, when it comes to experience, he might be even higher than you. So there's no problem with saying, okay, I don't want to finish my educational career. I want to go into something else. I still vote for that because you know why? These are qualities that helps you build up yourself. There are values that you learn from your parents. You go out there, you feel, you are in the outside world because that's when you really know, okay, this is what my parents feel. Because you already know. So
Mhm.
long as you're in the house, they're feeding you, they're doing things for you, they're guiding you. No, you need to be independent. You need to go out there, struggle, work your way out, find ways, and see how best you can fit yourself into wherever you want to be tomorrow, knowing who you want to be. But what I don't like is being lazy, sitting down, not doing anything. No school, no experience on anything. And this is why I always tell our youths back home in Africa, there's carpentry jobs. You can go to these carpentry jobs anytime. Say, oh, you just go there, volunteer, learn. Look what they do. You're gonna learn something out of it. Okay, let's say you have a tailoring shop. You go in there, go learn how to sew. That's something that you own because today in Gambia or in Senegal, if I tell you how much the tailors receive monthly, there are some people who are directors in places, managers, they don't receive that in the Gambia. It's way more money. It's way, way money. But our people don't see that. Everybody thinks, you have to be professional. Everybody feels, you have to sit in an office. We are not all supposed to be sitting in an office. No. We've been to school, we did our degrees and everything, but we're still braiding hair. We're still braiding hair. That's technical. And it's the natural, that's called, as it's technical, but it's natural in us. So we're still making a whole lump sum out of that. We could have been in the hospitals and say, oh, we're fine. We're not going to braid hair anymore. No, no, no. But because we believe so much in who we are, that's the value that I'm going to come to. We believe so much in where we come from. That's the value that we learn from our parents. I say, okay, this is our tradition. This is our culture. I'm going to still stick to it. I'm still going to braid hair. At times I go to work. One of these nurses will look, Mimi, what are you doing here? I say, what are you doing here? Because they can say my whole name. They can say Mam Kumba. So they just say Mimi, Mame. That's how they just say, Mimi, what are you doing here? I say, what are you doing here? They say, Mimi, you got a business. You got to say, listen, that's none of nobody's business. I'm here to work. I'm working, you're working. So don't ask me what I'm doing here. So all these are things that you can do on the side. Invest in your little time, invest in your free time. Because that time that you're doing over there at the carpentry store, at the tailor, it's not like you're just throwing it on the drain. No, no, no. It's going to benefit you one day. You can utilize it wisely. So, Mimi, I'm going to give you back the platform.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I killed my answer when I was, my mom, they're all hairdressers. So I grew up around, everyone knows how to do hair in my family. When I went to college, I didn't have a job, but that's what I did. I did people's hair and I got paid for it. And I was in a town where there was barely any hair salons anywhere. So like, you never know when some of those skills are going to come in handy. And
Exactly.
that came in handy for me. And for my 4 years of college, I used it and I did hair for 4 years. And after that, I didn't do it anymore. Right. But it came handy. Right. And so think about that too. What are some skills that you have that you can use that can help you, which are really important. And I feel like sometimes people forget. You forget that these skills really do matter. And in the long run, these skills can really, really, really help you. And,
Mhm.
I just feel like it's really important that you find something to do. Like for people here in the US, right? Those for like when you graduate high school, those first 4 years is when you get tabbed. So like you have to just go to school kind of sort of like if you don't go those first 4 years, you don't get tabbed, right? So after those first 4 years, it's just regular other stuff that you get, right? But people try to get in those first 4 years because of the tab, right? In Gambia, I don't know how it works, but you just need to find something to do, because you can't sit. Like, that's the point I'm trying to make here. Like, you can't sit and do nothing. You have to find something to do, find someone to reach out to. And, most importantly, I just want everyone to understand that, like, you're going to get frustrated. You are, because, it can
Mhm.
be very discouraging, especially because, like, we're told, go to school, go to school, go to school. After you get out, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. Sometimes that doesn't happen. So, just understand that opportunities, you have to go and get some of these opportunities, and you really just have to believe in yourself. So,
Mhm. Exactly. It's as simple as that. I think it's clear as black and white, just like Mommy have, just said. It takes, guts to
yeah,
do what you want to do or to be who you want to be.
yeah,
There is no boundaries saying, oh, this is where I can stop. You can be stopped at any point in time. Just keep moving forward. Just keep following your dream. Move forward till the end of time, till the end of day. At some point, you will get to your destination. But most of us, what we do is we just sit back. We just waiting. Or you tell somebody, you go to a place one day and tell them, oh, I want a job. They say, okay, we're going to call you, we're going to look into it. And then they go home. I'm telling you about the youths, back home,
hmm
and this is something I know about for fact. They say, okay, we're going to call you. When you go home, they say they're going to call you. Don't wait for them to call you.
yeah,
Don't wait. Get up every morning. Remind them. Set it as an alarm clock. Every day, get up, call. Oh, I was just checking what's going on. And at times, you'll be surprised that they will say, oh, I forgot, I set everything up for you. Can you come in? So that time, they were just waiting for you for just that phone call to give you that job. So we need to get up more and talk about it. We need to talk about this more on our platforms, and we're going to expand it more and more as we keep going. We're going to get people around here. We're going to invite people that we're going to talk to, and then they will give us advices, and ways that we can go about, making this thing accomplish. And then of course, we're going to have Fatima too. Like you said, you don't know how it works in the Gambia, but Fatima being in the Gambia, she knows what is going on there with the youths. She knows the difficulties that the youths are going through as far as getting employment. So she will be sitting here with you shortly, and then yeah, we'll talk about it and compare, contrast, and share ideas. And then, of course, our wonderful viewers who are here today watching us, as always, whenever we come on board, they come to empower us, because we said, what is it? Community empowerment. And since we're trying to empower communities, we're going to be touching, all areas, not just on one side, but we're going to be touching on all sides together, because it's the whole community, So what I was going to say again was, what was it again? Oh, life, like I call life. I call it the three L's. I don't know, maybe if you know about the three L's. I say life, learn, and leave. That's why I say those are my three
I
things
love
that I
that.
say about life. We are living a life. So when we have that life, what do we do with our lives? We learn new things. Like you were talking about earlier on diversity, innovations, try things that you're not used to trying, try things that are new to you, get outside of, of your comfort zone, do things outside your comfort zone, because that's what's going to make your life, worthful, it will worth living. And that's why I say live at the end. So you work for it today, and then tomorrow it's there waiting for you. That's what you have as on, and that's what you're gonna live onto. So I believe every youth, everywhere, it doesn't matter, should get yourself engaged into something. You cannot be just sitting down and say, "Oh, I don't have a job. I don't have it." Do something. Do something. There's always something to do. There's always something to do. You cannot say, I wouldn't do anything. Because the little things that we see as back home, we say, oh, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. People are here with their degrees, and that's what they're doing. I saw this young lady. Okay, she graduated. She did her criminal justice. She have a master's degree. She's trying to get into the metro policing. And okay, they said there was an opening. You know what she did? She put in her application. You know what they hired her first for? They called them, I don't know the name, but she would clean inside the train. She got
hmm
her master's degree. Can you imagine? She went in. She was just trying to get her foot in. She applied in, for police. in the train. Like, so she went in there with her feet in there. But today, she have accomplished, whatever she went in there for. Right now, she's there as a police in there. So it's always it takes sacrifice. You have to put so much time into it and patience. And like I said, a positive attitude, a decent attitude that will take you anywhere. Because if not for anything, I've seen people too who have been into industries, it's not like they know anything. It's not like, they know really what they're there for. No. But because they are so eager, they are so willing, they have so much positive attitude towards the job that they went into, whatever field they went into. They have so much respect for the people that are there, and the opportunity comes in. Even though the young girl didn't know what exactly the job entails of, she didn't know, or she have no idea exactly what she's going to be doing. They gave her the opportunity because of what? Her positive attitude, because of her good manners. So we need to work on those things. Those are very important. We talked about it last week and said the first impression that people have about you is built in 15 seconds. So those 15 seconds, you have to impress. You have to show the person that you're talking to, this is what you want. And they'll be like, oh, you know what? The good thing about her is she knows what she wants.
Yeah.
People are looking forward to that. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And it goes back to what I was saying. Like, remember this. This is like my favorite phrase. You do what you have to do now to do what you want to do later. Like, that is the bottom line. Like, people take jobs out of nowhere just
Mm-hmm.
because it's for the company they've always dreamed of working for, and then eventually they become in charge, right? You never know. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're sitting at home right now in the US, in Africa, and you need help getting a job, start calling places, start seeing what's going on, right? And even if it's not your ideal job, it's not what you want to do, people very rarely get the job of their dreams right off.
Mm-hmm.
That is not how life works. That's what we like to think how it works, but that's not right. Like, your dream job, you get it later on. It's not, you don't just get the job right away out of college and then you hold, like, no, right? You have to build yourself up. And I'm going to be completely honest. These jobs, it builds morale, it builds determination, it builds hard work, and like, you kind of need it because, like, in the beginning you don't understand, right? In the beginning I didn't understand, like, oh my God, why didn't someone just hire me to be on TV? No, like, that's not how it works, right? Like, you have to build yourself up, right? You have to work at it, right? And so just remember that, right? You do what you have to do now to do what you want to do later, and that's just the bottom line when it comes down to it. And and I think this is such a great topic. I feel like we're definitely going to end up touching on this topic again, especially when Fatima joins us. And if you guys have any questions or any more in-depth ways you want us to cover this topic, please let us know. I'm open to ideas, and I'm open to any other topics you guys would like to discuss also, because I know this topic entails a lot with like education and experience, and it's a lot, but we're definitely going to continue this topic. I feel like this was a great conversation.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Once again, thank you so much, Mami. It's always a pleasure having you on this platform, coming talking about areas that youths can build up themselves, what they can do, solutions and all of that. But like I said, we're gonna expand more into this platform. We're gonna try to get people that will come in here and get people that know more than us, that will come in here and talk to us and see ways and solutions, to some of the things or some of the areas that we're having difficulties in. So it's a wonderful thing, to be here once again. I will say thank you to everybody. I've seen everybody is on board, especially your mommy is watching, Aida. We want to say thanks to her. Auntie Ramu is here too. We have Aruna Dabo. We say thank you. I have my manager here, the manager of Queen TV. He's watching you. His uncle Mamadou Lamin is watching you. Your auntie Jainaba is here too. Auntie Georgiao, I have her here. Sally, Auntie Sally, Diko. We're saying thank you to all of you. Yasin Jai, Rohingyas, and then we have Balde Balde here, my own mentor. We're saying a big hi to him all the way over there. So I guess that's the end of the program. We will be back next Thursday, same time, and then we will come up with something more interesting. Like we said, we're coming here every week to bring you different things. And anytime we come in here, Alimatu Baro is there too. We say hi to her. Every time we come in here, we want to be better and better off at all times. You know, we are trying the best we can as we sit here and speak to people because we just talk about things that we know. We're not going to talk about things that we don't know. But again, of course, we will do deeper research. We will, we will network, with
Yeah.
people. Right, Mammy? I think we said we was going to do some networking,
Yeah, yeah. I
get
think
some
yeah.
research,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, so I love research. I love finding people. That's what I do. I'm a reporter. So I think we're gonna reach out to some people for you that can come in and talk also. And also, if you have any recommendations, please reach out to us. I really love, you guys are always watching. My aunt, she provides, you guys are always on here watching and supporting. So if you feel like there's something else we should talk about, there's someone that would be really great for us to invite on, please, we're a family here. Like, don't be afraid to reach out.
Of course, whatever we are doing, we're doing for our communities, for our own communities, for our own children, who we want them to be, who we want to be better off tomorrow. So that's the platform for. So if you have any recommendations, you have anybody that you think of, anything that you think of, we should bring, forward on this platform. You are more than welcome to give us, ideas, tips, and stuff like that. We will really appreciate it. Once again, we want to thank everyone. Thanks for watching us at Coin TV. Maybe you may want to say bye to your audience.
Bye.
We'll see them
See
next
you next
Thursday, right?
week. Yes, see you next
And
week.
I know you're going to bring something even better and better than this,
Yes, yes. I'm
right?
actually gonna run it by my aunt as soon as we get off this. I'm going to call her.
All right. Yeah, have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. We thank you once again from Queen TV Services, from all staffs, and management of Queen Services. We're saying thank you to everyone. Thank you, Mammy.
Bye.
Thank you, baby.